Welcome. My name is Dr. Gerry Nolan, and this is Love is the Answer. Today's segment is entitled Giving Our Best, Why High Expectations Need to Start with Us. I'd like to share a personal story about my student teaching under the heading of You Can't Give Away What You Don't Have. As a student teacher, I had a tiny, minuscule toolbox for teaching. I lectured most of the time, which is what I had experienced in college. Discussions could be interesting, but frankly I couldn't answer most of the questions. Certainly if a question was worth asking, I had trouble answering it. A few film strips, hand out some worksheets which I used as shut-up sheets to keep the kids busy, and that was the extent of my teaching toolbox when I left college. The wake-up call for me happened from a young man by the name of Philip. Really bright, engaging, nice young man who sat right in the front row of one of my American history classes. And I was using the overhead, doing my thing, giving my lecture and stuff. And Philip, who was a very respectful young man, said in a voice that was loud enough for me to hear, but not loud enough to make any sort of scene. He just put his head down and said, "This is boring." He was right. He was partially right. The topic, the Cold War, was not boring. I was boring. The way I was sharing the information with the students, I just didn't at that time have the tools to make things come alive, to make the Cold War interesting, something that should be incredibly interesting. Spies and bombs and YouTube flights and all that kind of stuff. Philip was my teacher that day. He taught me that the only thing worse than being bored was to be boring. I had a modicum of knowledge, a little bit of knowledge. I just couldn't make it come to life for the kids. I lacked the skills to be a good teacher. And what I really needed to do is add to that toolbox. And that was how he taught me that day. I suppose I was giving the best I had to offer at the time, but it just wasn't enough. I had to enlarge my teaching toolbox. I had to grow professionally. I needed to have higher expectations for myself. I encourage you to view your professional growth as an act of teacherly love, whether it's a quick training after school or a conference that you go to. Here's what you're doing. You're growing professionally so that you have more to offer, more to give to our students. In order for our students to perform better, we need to get better so that we become more effective in what we do. When we have high expectations for ourselves, we are much better equipped to have high expectations for our students. We invite you to please read the companion blog to this video on our website, Love is the Answer. Until next time, I'm Dr. Gerry Nolan, wishing you peace and love.